Hey guys, so it's like almost 3 o'clock in the morning here in Florida, and I figured I would go ahead and I guess give y'all a little better insight on who I am and what I've come from, and I guess basically this is my Draw My Life video. Um, it's already been drawn up, but I planned to try and do this when I had a laptop, and it didn't exactly happen. So please excuse this, but this way y'all can understand where I'm coming from, and maybe you guys and I can connect on a more personal level now instead of just here's my YouTube video level. But here we go. Back in 1990, my parents ended up getting married. Now, whenever they got married, my mom was already pregnant. Now, she and my dad were told the entire time that I was going to be a little boy, and I would be born on the 4th of July. Well, what a surprise to them that their little boy turned out to be a little girl. And my mom had this whole little flyaway thing going on, and I was like 20 days late. But I ended up being exact opposite of what the doctors thought I was going to be. Now, we moved from Florida in 1991, and we moved into this apartment complex. It was in the middle of Westerville, Ohio. Now, after that, we ended up moving out of there because we couldn't afford the rent. And we ended up going ahead and finding a cheap house that was in the middle of being foreclosed. I liked the house. It had a fenced-in yard and a pool. We could keep our German Shepherd. His name was Samson, and he used to be a police dog. He used to chase the mailman away from the house. But my parents ended up fighting a lot, and the money went elsewhere, and I didn't know why. So we ended up having to move. Years later, whenever I was a bit more grown, my parents were always fighting. There was never a point where they didn't fight. I didn't understand it at the time. Mom had her habits with wine, and Dad had his with his beer and drinking. Eventually, it caused us to all split up. Dad stayed at the farmhouse, and we left. We moved a few different times to a few different towns. In the end of it, we ended up in Fredericktown in this nice little apartment complex right up the road from my school. One day, Mom decided to let me know that we were packing everything when I came home and that I needed to start on my room. And we were moving to Florida. We moved about 7 different places just alone living in Florida. It was really hectic, and I didn't really get to make friends very much and stay in one place for one time. At 13, the divorce was finalized. My mom met a guy by the name of Bobby. He was really hairy, and he reminded me of the missing link. I didn't like him very much. Eventually, whenever I was 15, my mom got pregnant and had a little girl by the name of Summer. I was really happy to have another sister. I wasn't happy to have the missing link in my family, though. At 15 years old, my mom decided that I was ready to become a responsible adult. I raised my sister up until I was 17. My mom had better things to do, which was obvious. She had different children to take care of. The only support I really had was from my grandma. She was probably the biggest part of my life. I ended up getting an addiction to pills at 16, though. It was really hard for me. I ended up gaining a lot of weight, and I was almost 300 pounds, and I knew that if I kept going this route, I would be dead. My grandma was in the nursing home by the time I was 17. She wasn't doing too well, but she kept her heart up. I told my grandma how I wanted to go to Kentucky and go to Job Corps. I wanted to get a job in masonry. She approved, and she finally convinced my mom to let me go. 3 weeks in, I got my masonry job. I was really happy I had gotten my uniform. But then I got a phone call. My grandma had passed away. I had bought her a small ceramic elephant, and I couldn't even put it in the casket. I was too tore up, and my life started going downhill. I graduated Job Corps, and I was really happy about that. But even with my certifications and everything, I didn't really see a point too much in everything that I was doing anymore. I ended up turning right back to pills again. And eventually, I ended up trying to OD and end it all. At 18 years old, I was living in a trap house. My mom had done kicked me out after all my money from Job Corps was gone. And my OD attempt went wrong as well. I ended up with a sales job at a company called A1 Marketing. It only lasted a year, and I ended up back on harder drugs, and I ended up leaving. I met somebody named Heather and ended up moving to Tennessee. Well, 7 months later, I was in hell, and her family destroyed every bit of paperwork on my certifications, my high school diploma, and she destroyed my heart. So I decided it was time to move again. I ended up moving to Georgia, and I was offered a job with the fair. It seemed like a pretty cool gig to pay my rent, and then I lost my apartment. Basically, that's where I'm at now. The big difference right now for me, along with all of this, is that right now I'm trying to build myself up to something that I've wanted for many, many years. And it's something that I was told by my mom that I would never find. And that's love. I've been talking to somebody for quite some time, and she happens to be my roommate. We're looking at actually starting something, and she's probably been the best thing that I've had in my life in a long time. But that was my life in a nutshell there. There was a few things that I left out, but everybody has their little points that are too long to tell. But this is my video for tonight, guys. I uploaded a few others. One project I had been working on for a little bit, trying to find the right pieces to put together, is a flashback to 2013, which just got posted a few hours ago. So I hope y'all enjoy that. I think it turned out really good. The people in the video are all very close friends of mine. Dave, I drew a dick face thing on his counter at his thrift store. He's the really big guy. People that walk in right after him were a few of my coworkers, Kim and Floyd from the show. Crystal, I know, another Crystal. She was a girl that I was talking to when I was on the road, and she's a sweetheart, but she's got a lot going on. And then there, of course, was Sparky. His real name was Jason, but everybody called him Sparky after I gave him the nickname when he singed his eyebrows off. So, but either way, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I know it wasn't exactly happy, but I figured with as many videos as I posted in the past 2 days, I figured I would go ahead and let y'all have a little bit of background on my life. But either way it goes, everybody has a bad past. And whether it be drugs, alcohol, death, violence, there's always something in somebody's past. And they can't be judged for it now for what they did then. I'm 23 now, and I've done a lot of growing. I've been off pills since I was 20 years old. I came out here on the road and everything's been going really well for me. So maybe Mary Kate is the next step to the best thing in my life. I really hope so. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video once again. I'm gonna go back through this cold ass weather. Yeah, cold in Florida. And get back to my house and try and get some sleep because we have to be at the lot tomorrow by about 2 and we gotta get everything ready to open by 5. If anybody is anywhere near the Bartow area of Florida, go ahead and swing in. It's only a 1-day spot. We're in the center of a ball field. It's kind of in a neighborhoodish area, so you'll probably have to ask locals about it, but if you can make it out there, I'm either going to be working a goldfish game or a balloon dart game this week. I don't know. But if y'all want to come out and see us, swing on out. But I will see y'all later. This is a crazy Carney signing out, and my ass is going to bed. Love y'all, and night, guys.